So I want to record. I'm experiencing the weird moment of clarity in the middle of a storm type of sensation. And although I'm very close to going to bed, I mean I'm practically there. I'm eating because I had the last minute midnight hunger. What is this? You know, when they say it's a census generated place, that means it's not real. And it's very rare to even come to these. What are you trying to do? What I was trying to do, I mean, I still am doing it, especially after seeing that. It's probably where the fucking balloon landed. They shot down. I don't know about Massacre Valley. I don't participate with every single word I read in the way that they wish it to be. ATTU? ATT me, huh? No. No. That's creepy. My main reason for, I guess, now experiencing creepy is I'm looking at the TV. Wow. I see that. I'm looking at the TV and there's this picture of a hand. Now, I think it was yesterday. I could be wrong. It might have been the day before, the day after my birthday. Yeah, it was. Because I went to the river and my friend was up here. She didn't even leave yet. And I thought she did because I listened to her on the phone and it sounded like that was the case. I feel bad for her because I would not have abandoned her and just went swimming had I done that. She thought I did. I was like, actually, I didn't. I left the back door open, which isn't something I like to do, but I did it because, well, there's other reasons. And that's partially one of them. Now, desync, we're not synced together correctly, and in a way, I'm jumping ahead and I'm jumping behind. This is an experience I have with my awareness. All right, maybe that's weird, but maybe not. I did notice the person outside, and I engaged them. I didn't oh, they're gonna leave or isolate in any way that I would find myself out of bounds. Am I still in bounds? I'm still in bounds. Here's why. When at the river, I saw this hand looking up the bank. Fuck, we can go there. I guess yeah, we guess we can. Very few times, normally if I try to do anything that I really want to do and needs to be done, this thing will shut you down. What does that mean? You know, address your left side. All right, let me address my left side because it's never going to fully accept anything just give into it like that. That's its role. That's what it does. The left side of your brain, that's its whole reason to exist. Well, it's separated. I would say it was right around here on the bank. There was a tree or a piece of wood, and the distance that it was from myself, who now I'm right here in the middle of the rocks. You can't really tell it's a circle of rocks, but it is. It's a circle right there. You can get in. This is where I spread my dad's ashes and they went into the river. Not a bad experience. Probably the best, most perfect. I imagined how I would do it and did it and then experienced it, and it was the most fluid, pretty quick too. I didn't stay around and fuck around down there. This river's got some really strange shit going on, at least as much as this part of it is concerned. You see the river. This river hid is something. It encounters something here in the rocks that make this the way to go. I mean, because look, it's a drastic turn, big time. You know, you would think it would just bend here. No, it goes up into here, and I think there's something underneath. Do I know that? I don't know. Modern Family's a weird and creepy show. I don't have to be hating anybody to not fully appreciate all the gayness that it brings. And it does, it brings it. It doesn't need it. I don't want it. And, they're playing the role in normalizing it the way that, TV has the role of doing that. And I don't think it's very healthy. Once you start normalizing something like that, you're not but promoting it. That's just my opinion. Do I have to use the words that I use when I say that? I mean, yeah, because of the social shit. Now, what's going on with the hand now? I saw the hand and I was wondering, was that a statue of a hand? Did somebody carve it into a hand? And I really thought it was a hand. I hooked up. Not more than normal. I noticed it was just a wood that looked like it was a hand, but it was freshly. I mean, like the inside of the wood. What's the point of that? Well, I mean, why did I see it on the TV? You riddle me that before you get into my bullshit, questioning me about this and that. Is that your? That's where you are? Yeah, it is. And I'm not hostile though. There's no hostility in that. It's a guarded awareness. I had to cultivate it. It's available. It means I can use it. It has some. There's some power to it because I can make use of it. Like I said, I need to use it for something I have. And there's more features or things with the use and cultivated growth that are possible that I'm even aware yet. And it's more like this is the path through where I'm going. This is representative of the future as seen by me and given a sign. So what can you translate this into? What sort of sign? A good one, a bad one, a warning? Um, my dad was a blue hand, and he was the element of wood, whereas I'm like metal. I didn't realize it at the time or fathom it at all. until now. Okay. But see, I saw him like that. He didn't see himself. He knows that. Wherever he is and whatever time it is, I can receive that as a blessing message, an encouragement, thumb up, even, because you could make it with the hand. You didn't see that, though. I see it now, though. Fuck you, too, Sue. Is that legit? What do you mean, is that legit? This literally is where you are. This moment, and it represents just a moment in time that is very like that. And the TV is also going through the balance of trying to show something, but they're doing a fucked up job. As I'm looking at them, they keep dressing their daughter as a whore, and she comes out and they cover her up, and everything's fucked up. It's stupid. The gay guy's trying to escape Spider-Man. It's another one that I get. I get a lot of weird scripting of. It's like something's trying to put me as Spider-Man or me as some sort of spider, which I don't identify with at all. I reject it in all sort of ways. I don't like Spider-Man. I don't care for it, but it might have something to do with the power that is representative in the Spider-Man. That I can understand and get, but I'm still not accepting none of it. Because to me, since I've seen it come online at a certain point in time, and it's delivered from the system, like the system either wants aggressively me to perform this as a role or a function, um, I see it so that I can reject it. And I can see where it connects to, and I can reject that because I don't want nothing to do with that. That's not the role I want to play or identify with at all. At all. Not at all. I never even liked Spider-Man. Don't give a fuck. The realm that we all live in, there's some overwhelming similarities we can all come to agree. Um, the ceiling of them, the top or best expression that can be possible, fluctuates at any given time. If we're aware, if we're caught in the moment, you know, I am very much able to keep my awareness on something and let it go and then return to it at the valid time. And I've had to pay attention to some things where, like, my friend told me about this guy, and she says is her cousin, and he doesn't like da 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 a certain thing or whatever. And I maintained that knowing and then didn't expose that person to that person having to be around something they didn't like. Now, mind you, bringing that person into my birthday element and letting them spend the time and whatever, not that there's a bad thing. Not that it's a bad thing at all. But I don't automatically, and I'm very careful and slow how I bring down my own defenses or whatever. I don't have a problem spending that time with someone else. Now, if my idea during the time is some sort of try to connect with the person I'm trying to connect with in any sort of way, I'm going to be waiting for them to leave if they're told they're telling me, well, they're going to do this and that. We're going to go to the river and blah blah blah. I was waiting, and then when the person left, then I would go to the river. That was my plan. That's what I was going to do. And then, like, when I disclosed the plan, then the person was coming with us to the river. I'm like, okay, well, no, you misunderstand me. You're giving me information I need in a real time. I need it at the time I need it. That occurs. You're always getting the most updated information about some things from the people that are having it. You're getting it from them, and that's why. Now, the bossy type, which I don't want to say bossy, but maybe I should say more aggressive, or the person that's more willing to take the reality's reins and move it about. They're naturally going to do that without clearance from someone, and it's not a bad habit. It's not that they're unable or unaware, and I ran into this situation by making the use of it, because then suddenly this person was going to come with us. I'm like, well, no, 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 no. We're not driving this whole reality right at all. This is going to continue to manifest itself into these fucking blockages. Blockage for me. Yeah, sure. This person was now going to have them go with me, but my information wasn't interpreted correctly. It wasn't withheld or whatever. It was given to learn and feel out that situation. Did you? Absolutely, it did, because I did not. I waited, and the person left, and then did I river? I don't even know if we rivered at the same time. Actually, I don't think we did. In fact, my memory of the river seems to be the next day, and that day that this occurred was my birthday. There was some weird, well, didn't the person stay the night? Oh, they did. It's actually a lot longer period of time than now I have missing time. You have missing time? I do. I'd spent more time pre-birthday and birthday than it would seem to be. Well, maybe it was actually the birthday and the next day. That's what it was. Those days blend together, because the next day is um, the landlady's birthday. Not the landlady. Her mom's birthday is on the day after mine. This is a birthday of another friend of mine's mom. This is a theme that picks itself up out of the what appears to be chaos, and it does appear to be chaos and not any connection at all. But this has a lot of patterns that then begin to overlay onto my experience in my life. And I can pick them out. I can see them. They're clear. I see them looking at them. I can show them. I can point them out. There they are. This and that. And this is how it just disappears back. Watch it. Set it down. It just camouflage like a mother. You don't notice none of that's quite apparent, and it is. It's quite apparent. Well, how so? How you gonna? Let me show you. All right. I believed it to be a Mandela effect. I'm not entirely changed on my opinion to that respect. I remember looking up on the thing. We'll go and show you where I get my information from, because here it is. See, this is my birthday, and this is what I am. It's not today. What is today? Let's go to today and let's check, because I don't entirely know, and the day just changed. So it's a good time to find out. I am a little out of step with this. Not completely out of sync, and I'm resynchronizing real fast and way better. Red solar Earth, that's a good sign to me. The sun of the Earth in the sun position. Where on the wave is it? On the 90 degree. Makes sense. Although I don't know these periods of time in this manner. To some degree, I understand what this is here. Instead of having a week, which makes us weak, I consider myself surfing these waves. However, you can't really be on top of it and think of it as a wave, but it looks like a little bit of a wave, and in a way, you go through it to put yourself on top, and that's the way I think of it. It's rough. I made it up myself. I haven't changed nothing about it. It's been there pretty automatically since first exposed to it. And I like it. I like the fact that it's that easy to sort of explain why you like this calendar. If I understand us having a 12-month and a 60-minute cycle and that thing syncs to a six-fingered individual that I am not. I'm a five-fingered individual. My body and my fucking temporal existence unfurl themselves clearly and better with this calendar's help. No, I don't write the dates on it and do all that, and maybe it would be great if that were the case. Society has to move a certain way to also accommodate the minor things, and society at large hasn't been interested in this yet. Mostly they don't know it exists. However, with that being said, if people did know and could put the dots together and realize, hey, our calendar and time things fucking us up. Here's how. We're being separated from the greater spheres, as it were, the outer body of the celestial realm, by our own calendar system, which hits a wall. And it does with us. With the time we're in, if it did it at 2012, I could see that happening in the society, and the chaos crumbling has been ever since. It's kind of true. That's kind of legit. Were mankind to look at things in the way that you could say, all right, we see that this is an experience we currently reside. And then, if you took the theory of it and synchronized timing leading up to artificial time and the awareness of that being an artificial barrier and the need to take on a new means of traveling through the time, free of the previous limitations that are experienced by us all. I can't go backwards in time right now. I can't run it backwards. But I can go with my consciousness to different places in time, but at certain time years. Can't just go anywhere I want. It's not really the way it works. But there's been an opening up of an experiencing of the past that is as close to moving into the past as I say you can have, because I'm not able to teleport or transport anywhere else, which would probably be ahead of line in time traveling if there's a travel like that. If I could disappear and reappear in some other place, it'd be very unlikely that this would be the exact place I would go. It wouldn't be appropriate. I would go to a time, place, vector, whatever, that would be probably something I've heard of and know. Not just a place on the map that I haven't yet had interactions with, but I know and I feel safe. I'm more likely to go somewhere public and feel safe if I'm time traveling and out of bounds. How are you out of bounds time traveling? Well, I'm not, because I'm not doing it. But number one, if you go to a time and you're not there from there, there's a sense that comes about you, and you can't say this isn't the case, of being in the wrong area, in an unapproved, unfucking authorized area. You're not fucking sure who may be being violated, but there's a sense, albeit small, of there being a violation and you the violator. Right or wrong. Most people's going to know that this is correct. This is not incorrect. And the reason to bring it up is just, it's in passing, and it's just probably important, and later down the line I'll realize it. The lady that appears on the TV now, and I don't know why this is on so early. I had such a weird experience. I woke up, I mean, I'm naked in my bed. I'm closed in my room, but I hear something and I wake up and I look, and this lady is on the TV with the same lady that's on now, who this dips her into the hostile awareness category. And that's probably the not the ideal way to place it, but she's starting to appear in all the weird TV where it's almost interactive. Oh yeah, they're watching me. They're naked and they're doing their little thing. It's fucking hilarious though. If you grew in the period of time along the lines that I would have needed to, you would have had the sense of this hostility or it being not completely legit. The reason why it felt weird, odd, wrong didn't stay. But, finding it like that, and there's a kid too, it's like, it's like this realm wants to get you trapped or persecuted for things it does, like pedophiles. That's one of the worst things a human being could probably do. And it's almost like one of the unforgivable sins in actual actions you can have taken if you do. Do I believe that grown-ups and children can be in love and all? No, no, wrong. I do not. I don't have any of the sympathy that some of their mechanisms have tried to create for them. I don't have it. I don't. I'm not going to. But is that so important to say? Because number one, not only am I revolted at the concept of an adult and a child, that is fucking sick, and I'm spurred into some form of action, whereas I don't have in a life uh, activity that helps me rid the world of that. I'm not sure the necessity for my role in such a thing exists, but my position on the matter does. And that matters. So some of the things that we know are wrong, know are part of the dark side's uh, actions, activities. This one ranks pretty high on. I don't agree and fuck them. They gotta go. It's unforgivable in a way. You know, they're so 90 degrees. Yeah, the peace. See you too. Wipe it off your shoulder. Because they're talking like real direct to me in the moment I'm in. She's knocking shit off of her shoulder, like, saying stuff using sign language with one hand. The gay guy is just being the gay guy news guy that he always is. Now, her, I don't know what form of new and freedom she's got, but she can communicate and she has been doing it. It's very strange. Do I see TV in a new light like this? This whole with the TV experience, it's pretty new, but it's growing, and its growth is fast. I don't find myself to be the only person that experiences it. How much of it is real? I mean, I'm seeing it right now. I mean, what do you mean real? I mean, it's going forward at me. Am I representative of anything? I represent a humanity that would need to understand what is being said. I take this as part of my destiny work to do it. I was revealed it a little later, what it is and what is actually occurring in my life and the manifestation of that. I'll end with this and just say that because I went pretty far along and I was going to already be asleep. But I was felt compelled that there was a message. I was getting it. It was standing out. It was with the hand, and that I needed to place it somewhere because I have people that are friends actively at the time commenting on my stuff, maybe up later too. Georgia, I'm talking to you. You know who you are, Flowers. I like Flowers. I listened to what she said today, and she's not feeling the real making videos and such, but I feel like she feels that, part of my base for the reason of even doing this exists because of that. she's an ally in that. There's been just few times when I've been through my personal struggles that I thought I might have said something or fucked up. I did not. Other stuff was going on. But I've been aware, and I turned my communicator up to the top of the notches where I was, maybe getting close to infringing on other people's understandings that I don't have as a personal person, but like with the Mecca stone and stuff like that, because I'm not Muslim. You know, the more time goes by, the less of my own religion I am. I notice, and I'm fine with, comfortable with. And in my mind, I'm wondering how to break that to my family in a way that can help break them out. Because I don't see that my uncle sees what he's telling me is so put through a lens, and I just don't find deity getting behind that. I feel there is definitely an archon comptroller of the religion that is, most people think is Christianity. Can he have that experience and the fullness of it even to some degree in that confine? Yeah, but I think it would lead to continual reincarnation here, specifically to be food. That's the difference. That's the difference. And with people that are like, I would say my uncles, and maybe them both, I really would have to have a daily experience and with them in my life, or a real 3D them that I interacted with more than just a phone call, that would really prompt me to create that relation. And it might not be the point. The point might just be spirit interacting with me on showing me something that doesn't feel right all the way. And the fact that, I would have to say, well, I understand the message of Christ, and I'm not a church member in the same way, and I'm more than dragged forward by myself. But if not me, it's something else that pulls me a direction that's not abandoning anything. And it's not following Satan or Lucifer, none of that. It's going a direction it feels the most natural and the most my area to personally grow. I know that sounds weird. Shouldn't be that weird. We all have our divergent things and views, and the interaction that I've experienced and transformed by making it through it, having it, is the experience of being a Christian and embodying what I think we were taught, things from a teacher that came to do that exact thing. And it's been harder the more likely the realization of there being no actual person of Christ had been, to the extreme. Mine had to swallow that one and dissolve it, because I can't have that on the fence. It doesn't allow for it stalls me out. It leaves a question mark that just doesn't get resolved and lets the world be swallowed by the same question mark. That's not fucking good. The entity that I believe to be Christ told me in the dream state his name was Essa, and that he was one of the Essenes, and he didn't come to do that. He's like, those stories, that's not me, that's not real. He's like, they've changed a lot of that, and that's not exactly what I came to do. I didn't come to start a religion. I came with a message. The message is one. The self and the other self are the same, for the heart's sake. And I feel that, period. It caused me to become it in as much as I can possibly say I have grown and continue to grow that direction. And I think that's important, that people know that and they have that experience in their own personal life, and that in the choice, when it appears that they make it, navigating it successfully, they don't ride the fence. Riding the fence along certain lines is death. It's the worst the human can be in non-action, the middle ground, worst possible, not something done bad, but nothing done and not good. It's like the wasting of time and the stalling oneself out, and the growth will stop. The plant will freeze. The whatever processes that are natural and necessity, that would be where the enemy could most take us, in that lingering on the fence in certain cases. Neutrality is very important. It's a very important aspect that we have along these certain polarized lines. That is a failure and a communication that you have not understood the battle plans, the war that's going on, and in a larger way, you're not even ready or capable to entertain that is real. That indicates somebody that really is desirous of sleep again, the type of sleep that doesn't want to have the reality tampered with by something called truth. That's a different creature than me. I resist it in every place I find it. I know the flesh contains a certain amount of that. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to get into the amount of fucking. It sees a great burden with no ability to overcome it. It can't infer any of the spirit's help. That's why its limits are at least still useful, because I can infer what the spirit takes regarding that. The flesh, although it exists and it has its own destiny, as it were, and in a way, this is true. This isn't a. There's no lying or manipulating what is being said beyond trying to maintain an accuracy in portrayal can be very difficult. This is a trap, though, and this trap, in that respect, is what that wants, whatever it is, and what that itself wants isn't even able to communicate that directly to the self, because the moment I depart, having it in myself in the embrace, that is either me being alive or the conceptual reality that underpins the whole damn thing, it removes that possibility to have to see what its limits are then arise, because I can, having that myself, take it and separate it. So it immediately becomes a way to see things, times, places. It's a doorway. It's a window. And it is. But it's a road sign. That's what it is first, because you're not traveling in your own vessel, starseed, whatever we are. You know, you came, your vessel is this flesh. And it's going to really bring you the most adversity that you ever encountered, ever. And the feeling of heavy. When it gets lifted from this life, don't desire the death too much, I say, but know the burden of the heaviness is extraordinarily profound. There's no heavier than this place. I don't think in all of creation, this has got to be the most heavy selection of incarnatable places currently available to souls. It's my personal opinion, but there's nothing, no fiber of my being says, hey, that's not the case. That's not what's going on. It is going on. It is a factor. You may notice it. It will cause other areas. You know, it's like the dominoes can go from there. In my world, I haven't knocked the dominoes over, but I see them. There's nothing wrong with looking and seeing them and expressing they exist to someone else. You know, if you can accept my message from that context, you would have a key to understanding me that I wish I didn't have to hand out or try to make material for another person to use. It really is sufficient with just the spirit. It is, because from there, then any other person that that has seen or heard or had any observing and listening to me, it would take them right there. I believe that. I believe that's a big part of the mechanism of what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if that is something I'm supposed to be doing, I immediately begin it. And that's part of why I think that is the case, that we're, you know, mostly distorted and wrong also in regards to what actually is going on here, what is the effect that is having on you and your allowing or not allowing. Because you gotta not allow. You gotta not allow into your sphere the chaos, the energy, whatever exchange that energy is embedded into, whatever it is. I don't support it at all, and I don't fail to point it out. And its biggest issue with me is how fucking inert it can pretend to be, and then believe that it won't be noticed. And I call it. I see it. I still see it. It doesn't like it. My guides approve me for future, and I'm aided and assisted. And that devil doesn't have much of a future, and that's where we're going, to the future where it ain't there no more. It seems a little bit wishful thinking, but you know what? It's more accurate than that saying it. Sure, it sounds like a great victory for my own personal self, is somehow my belief. It's not why I believe. I have totally new other reasons why I've come to that conclusion, and I'm okay with the fact that there is a default perception of my own self, this own spirit, my soul immortal. That it's, it's a reason to be here, and it's a good one for here. It's not always a good one for the enemy. The quicker it's not, the more alive I believe you are. Period. In whatever realm, all of them. Your life capacity is raising the fuck up. Have a good night.